I put myself out there on the front because I don't want my teammates, and here I go about to cry because I love them so much. It's hard. It's really, really hard. And I don't even know why I'm crying. But I love my teammates so much that I will take any hit from them, good, bad, ugly. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate because that's how I get the best out of my team.
Man, A'ja Wilson, listen, I saw that and I got emotional. I'm going to actually start with Owen. Owen, thank you again for joining today. Owen is an amazing writer, so check him out. You saw the handle, and Terrika Foster-Brasby as well. Thank you for joining me from CBS Sports. Owen, I saw you tweeting about A'ja Wilson. So it seemed that what she said impacted you. So what were your thoughts when you saw this from A'ja?
Me tweeting about A'ja Wilson, that doesn't seem possible. I love A'ja Wilson so much. She's the absolute best. I mean, seeing this really hit hard, and it's still hitting hard. I was getting a little choked up just watching the video there again, because she means every single word that she says. And she has been this person throughout her entire career, throughout her entire life. And so the relationships that she has forged do go so much deeper than basketball. And I don't think people realize the extent to which she uplifts everyone around her. And we are seeing that on this team. We've seen it with, the Aces rookie this year, Kate Martin, and the way in which A'ja is bigging her up and building her confidence. One of my other favorite players, Jackie Young, was very candid in the past about how her confidence would come and go. And that was kind of the last element of her game to put all the pieces together. And A'ja was the person consistently who was telling her to believe in herself, to keep going, to keep working, to trust the work, because it was going to pay off. A'ja is the most unselfish superstar practically I've ever seen. She has every reason to toot her own horn, and she never does. And you look at the relationships that she has built at South Carolina, it goes back that far, where she stays in contact with these people. These are meaningful relationships off the court. It speaks to who she is as a person. It speaks to A'ja's parents, who are the absolute best. It's just everything about A'ja is just excellence personified. And I think that I feel for her right now, because this is not an easy time. The pressure of the three-peat, and everyone just the recency bias, and everyone needs to talk about what's happened over the last week. It's like, it is hard to three-peat. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be handed to you. And this wears on them. You see how much it actually affects her in real life. So I'm really happy she said that. And A'ja's the best.
Yeah, I'm happy she said it too, Terrika, because Owen, to your point, it does weigh on them. And we never know the real life things that people are dealing with. So we know her just being vulnerable in that moment and letting us know, like, it is hard. And also, I just need people to remember, they are missing Chelsea Gray. They're integrating new pieces, right? There are actual basketball reasons that we can point to why there could be some struggles. But I appreciated her saying that it's hard, because this happens with teams when they start to win a lot, despite, they could be missing key players, despite what we're seeing. People just kind of shine this extra spotlight on them. And the expectation is it doesn't matter. You can lose 10 players. You're supposed to win. That's what you're supposed to do. We saw you guys win a game 4 last year without Chelsea Gray. So you should still be winning, not to mention A'ja has also got a lot of criticism because of comments she made about race and how they play a part in marketing, and people have taken her words and spun that, so there's a lot that she's dealing with, not just her team stuff, but just being the subject and target of a lot of narratives. And so seeing her in that moment, oh my gosh, Terrika, honestly, I was in tears. How did it impact you?
Same, literally, I saw the whole clip, the whole conference clip, and I was trying to not cry, but I'm also an empath. So if I see you crying, I'm crying instantly anyway. But I know, don't laugh, Owen, but it's true. And so
I'm the same way.
But I think the vulnerability of A'ja Wilson has always been a part of who she is, which is what makes her so relatable and what makes her so easy to love, is that she's never appeared to be disingenuous in anything that she's ever done. You know, when you see her interacting with fans, she genuinely means it. When you see her talking about the love she has for her teammates, she genuinely means it. When you see her motivated, like she was honestly motivated by that 4th place vote, and she didn't hide that. Right. And I think, again, those are the authentic things about A'ja that motivates you, because you can feel it. You understand where she's coming from. And so I love this moment. Yeah, there are actual basketball reasons that this team has lost 5 games this season, right? Last year's team was like a phenomenon. Like, seriously, they played incredible basketball. But let me remind you of the 2021 Chicago Sky. They went into the playoffs 500. And you know, when they left the playoffs, WNBA champions. It is a long season. And so I understand the pressure that may be on the A'ja, the pressure that's on the Aces right now. You get so accustomed and used to a team that's winning that you expect this level of success every year, year in and year out. But there are other teams in the league that are noticing the success that the Aces are having. And they have done things in the offseason to place themselves in a position to get better so that they can compete with the Aces. This isn't a knock on Las Vegas. This is just an attribute to how much better this league is getting, how much better players are getting, how they're motivating other teams to really bring their A game so that they can continue to be in the conversation. That's good for basketball. So I loved seeing this from A'ja. I loved her vulnerability and I love her honesty, but baby, she is motivated. You can tell that. And the other teams are motivated by her motivation, not just her teammates. And I love this. I love this for her, and I love this for the WNBA.
Well, look, you said some things, so it has my mind going now, because I feel like I have the right to people for this conversation, because y'all cover arguably the top 2 teams in the league right now, or at least those who are playing the best basketball. So we talked about the Aces struggles. I'm just going to say, ultimately, I'm not that worried about the Aces. I think that they will still be there as one of the teams to beat once Chelsea's back, once they figure out all their new pieces. I think that's going to happen. But I want to know which team is best positioned to potentially challenge the Aces. And so, let's see, which one do I want to start with? Well, I'm going to start with the New York Liberty right now, okay? Because they were number 1 in my last set of power rankings. And it's crazy. Like, for weeks, Liberty fans were mad at me because they thought I should have had them higher. And then I put them higher. And people, of course, Connecticut, some fans were mad at me for moving them to 2. But listen, like, the way I do my listen. I do my rankings in tiers, just to be clear. So, like, if you're 1 or 2, that doesn't really mean much, because it's like, you're the same tier. And I think, like, I can't honestly, between the Sun, the Liberty, or even the Lynx, to be candid, but we're not going to talk about them right now. I can't really say of those 3 teams that one is clearing the other right now. I think all 3 teams are playing great basketball. And so, but I gave the Liberty an edge. They broke Connecticut's win streak, Terrika. They're currently right now. What kind of win streak are they on right now? Owen, is it 7 games?
They've won a number of games that at this point I've lost count. They're rolling.
So, I mean, are they the best team in the league, or do you think they're not? I mean, just tell me, what do you think? I know you cover them, but are they the best team in the league right now?
I think right now, yes, but I'm going to make Liberty fans mad at me too. And yes, I know they won in Connecticut. I still think I would give Connecticut the edge as the best team to upseat the Aces. I'm also just going to say it. I still think the Aces are the best team. They're obviously not the best team right now, but they are not fully whole. But here's what I will say to undo some of the damage I've just done in the eyes of Liberty fans, is if Jonquel Jones is playing like this, they can win the title. Jonquel Jones is playing at her 2021 MVP level. Just absolutely phenomenal play on both sides of the ball. And it's the versatility, because I think an underrated element of this first year and a half of this iteration of the New York Liberty is that Breanna Stewart, who won MVP last year, should have been Asia, and frankly is playing at an elite level this year. Her 3-point shooting has kind of fallen off a cliff in New York. Stewie is shooting like below 20% from 3. And so they need Jonquel to be scoring on every level of the floor, because defensively, they are so good. And we're seeing Kayla Thornton thrown into the starting lineup right now in Courtney Vandersloot's absence. And I just want to share my thoughts with Courtney's family for everything she's going through right now. But the defensive lineup that they are throwing out there with KT, with Bonija, with Jonquel, with Stewie, it is hard to score on this team. And so it's kind of been fascinating for me to watch, because Stewie has almost offensively taken the back seat to Jonquel, because Jonquel is just so darn good right now at everything. And it's allowing Stewie to just focus on the things she's good at. Well, Stewie's great at everything, but right now with the shooting kind of having taken this dip over the last year and a half, it's like, all right, Stewie can play down low and get post touches and play her elite level defense, whereas Jonquel is knocking down threes, is dominating in the paint, everything. So this team is really clicking, and if they maintain this level, and if JJ is playing at her MVP level, they can absolutely win the title. But I do think I still would give Connecticut the slightest edge. I don't know, it's something about AT, something about Steph White, it's something about Duana, it's just something about that core and how many years they put in together that makes me feel like that team just has a little bit extra in the tank if I had to choose.
Okay, well, Terrika, I see you nodding in agreement. So I'm going to let you close us out by making the case for Connecticut. Tell us why the Connecticut Sun. Well, tell me one, if you think they are the best team in the league, or if they're just playing the best right now in the league. And if you think it's another team, can they challenge whoever that team is?
Yeah, well, I'm going to say the exact same thing that Owen said, except it's on the defensive end, right? This Connecticut Sun team, to me, is the best defensive team in the league right now. And that is why they have literally been as good as they are, because and this is no surprise. So Connecticut Sun fans are about to now hate me. But offensively, this team hasn't played their best basketball, right? And this is a veteran group. And so they know this. So this isn't anything that they don't already know and don't already recognize. But on the offensive end of the ball, they're still trying to get their 3-point percentage shooting up. They're still trying to have quicker starts to games. And we kind of saw that a little bit in their game against Dallas, which is the last game. They really played well. They really got off to a better start offensively. But if you are able to watch this team on the defensive end, they are in every single game. The duo between Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner is really two of the best that we've seen in a while. The elevated play of Dejanay Carrington has really taken this team to the next level. And then having Brianna Jones back inside, she is a presence that a lot of centers and forwards didn't have to deal with last year because she left the season early with an Achilles injury. Having her back and having her presence down low really just makes the threat of this team so much more dangerous. Than I think that this team is better this year than they were last year. So I would make the argument that Connecticut is the best team in the league right now. But like some other teams, they have not yet clicked on all cylinders just yet, but they will. They're motivated. They understand the assignment. They're a veteran group, and they've already got the hardest part, because I think playing defense is the hardest part of the game. Yeah. They've already got that part down pat, right? So the more that they start to get their offense to click, the more they can get out to a quicker pace. And that New York game was down to the wire. It was literally down to like a missed assignment off a pick and roll on JJ where she hits this 3 and you're like, damn, like, well, we know what's going to happen after that. So I say all that to say, I think that as the season continues to get down to go down to the wire, we're going to start to see teams like Seattle even start to creep up. We'll continue to see Minnesota stay in the mix. But I have no doubt that the last 4 standing, Connecticut, New York, and Las Vegas, will be 3 of the 4 that are there.
Well, I'm not going to argue with the experts who cover this team. Y'all will just have to see what my power rankings will be for this week. But until then, thank you, Terrika and Owen, so much. I appreciate you both joining me. This is a lovely conversation. It was fun. You should come back and do it again with me.
Yay.
Thank you, Natalie.